What's up, fishers? Welcome back to the channel. This is vlog number 17 and poker is back out here in Southern California. We're out here at the Commerce Casino, who just opened up their doors again after being shut down for a few months, and now they're reopened and they're offering an outdoors casino experience. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to be like. I've never paid to play outdoors, so anyways, I'm happy to be out here, although I've never really been a big fan of LA casinos because their rake is usually pretty stupid at the 1-2 tables. And if you were one of the people that commented on my last video, go on and stick around to the end of this video where I'm gonna go on and raffle off a few of these badass poker masks. Hell yeah, I want you guys to look fly. I want you guys to look fresh, because I know a few of you be looking like this guy, or like this person here, and that stops today. Anyways, if you haven't done so, go on and click that subscribe button, go on and click that thumbs up button, that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And well, let's go inside. All right, fishers. Now, the last time I was here at the Commerce Casino was about a year ago, which also marks the 1-year anniversary of the whole Mike Postle cheating scandal. You guys remember that piece of crap? Anyways, he ended up getting sued by a whole bunch of people, including Daniel Negreanu, Doug Polk, Mac Berkeley, Jonathan Little, along with 80 other people who were seeking $10 million in damages and losses and all that kind of stuff. But because of a California law that says losses due to gambling cannot be recovered in court, the case was dismissed. Now, this doesn't mean he was innocent, because he did end up paying some settlements to over 60 people outside of court. So yeah, and all of this took place in early June 2020. Now, fast forward to now, early October 2020. Mike Postle now has the audacity to be suing for defamation. No, defloweration. How the f do you pronounce it? Anyways, it means that they were throwing dirt on him. They ruined his reputation. They dirtied up his name. And now he's suing. He's suing Veronica Brill, who was the first person to bring up the cheating suspicions to the Stones casino manager. He's suing her. He's also suing Joey Ingram, who was kind of the main investigator in this whole scandal. He went through hours and hours and hours of Mike Postle hands on YouTube and on his YouTube channel, which, if you are interested in checking some of those videos out, I'll go on and leave a link on the description below. Anyway, back to the Commerce Casino. My very first question before I got here was, how was security gonna be with this whole outdoor setup? But man, I assure you, there was no shortage of cameras on the premises, along with heavily armed police officers or security guards. I'm not sure what the hell they were exactly, but they were all over the place walking the floor. Now, the last time I was here, they had barely increased the maximum buy-in limit from the 1-2 tables from $40 maximum buy-in to an $80 maximum buy-in. Well, you can go on and kiss those stakes goodbye, because the minimum buy-in now is $200, with the blinds being $3.5. This would actually be my biggest game ever. I've never played a 3-5 game in my life, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't even know what to expect playing these higher limit games. I was nervous. I was a bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugar it. I was freaking nervous. As far as the outdoors experience goes, man, I freaking loved it. It was great. I had a lot of fun playing up until the end of my session when the sun started burning me alive. Yeah, and if you plan on drinking here, boy, you better get here drunk, because there's no cocktail waitresses passing by. There is a little designated area where they sell food and drinks, but you cannot take any of that food or drinks onto the table itself. You cannot even drink water while you're on the table. Nothing at all. Although the water is complimentary. Anyways, the freaking water is free, which is, I think, a pretty cool thing, but you just can't drink it on the table. All right, fishers, for the first hand of the night, I look down at Queen-9 offsuit on the big blind. Our opponent in middle position has bumped it up to 15 bucks. Our opponent in the small blind, he calls the 15 bucks, and I am basically forced to play this hand. It's only 10 more bucks, and we go 3 ways to a flop. The flop is 9-7 deuce. We go on and flop top pair, and after our opponent in the small blind checks, we throw out a bet of 20 bucks. Our opponent, who was the original aggressor, he goes on and he lays it down. Our small blind opponent, he also lays it down, and we take a pretty nice pot. It's not that big, but I'm excited. It's our very first hand that we've won for the night, and we can surely use that momentum going forward. All right, for this next hand, I look down at Queen-Ace offsuit on the button. Some dude in early position, he decides to bump it up to 10 bucks. I look down at my Ace-Queen, and Ace-Queen is just way too strong to call. If I call and price people in, it's going to be my own fault if I do lose this pot. So make it 21 bucks. Our opponent on the big blind calls, along with the 2 prowlers after that, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The flop is 3 Jack 10. Our original aggressor decides to lead out for 25 bucks. Even though I didn't hit anything, I do have a gut shot. I have 2 overs and I'm getting 5 to 1. I go on and I make the call. The big blind folds, the +1 folds, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is another jack. Our opponent leads out again for 25 bucks, and this is starting to look a lot more like a blocker bet. I mean, he's putting 25 bucks into a $1.30, and not only that, this opponent's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar several times using this exact same line. I've seen him throw 3 barrels and he gets to showdown with nothing but a freaking draw. I don't believe this guy. I got about 100 bucks left behind and I let it rip. I'm all in, I'm 100 bucks in, a little bit over 100 bucks in, and this whole time our opponent thinks about it, and I'm like, oh, please, sweet baby Jesus, please fold, make him fold, make him fold. He ends up making the call. Fuck, man. The river's another stupid 10, pairing up the board, and he asked to see my hand first. He's all like, oh, I called you're all in. So, all right, cool. I go on and I open my hand, and I think we're good. Our opponent is thinking about it, and he eventually goes on and he mucks his hand, and we take it with ace high. Hell freaking yeah. That's freaking awesome. Ace high, baby. Here I have queen 10 offsuit on the button. I go on and I bump it up to 18 bucks. Our opponent on the big blind calls, middle position calls, the cutoff calls, and we go 4 ways to see a flop. The flop is queen 8-6. We go on and we hit top pair, and our opponent in the cutoff, he decides to lead off for 25 bucks. I mean, this opponent limp called, so I can't put him on something strong, and if he did hit a queen, I might be good with my kicker, but I'm not sure. But either way, I don't believe him. I feel I've always asked this question, and it gets me in trouble sometimes, but if an opponent really did have it, would he lead out into an original razor? That question has gotten me in so much trouble, and hopefully it doesn't get me in trouble now, because I don't believe him. And what do you do when you don't believe your opponent? You freaking raise him. I repop him to 60 bucks, and everybody else folds. It comes back around to him, and he's thinking about it. And to be honest with you guys, at this point, I'm not sure if this is a Hollywood. He ends up making the call, and we do end up going heads up to see a turn. The turn is a freaking ace. Our opponent decides to check, and it's an ace. I mean, what can I say? I expected him to check 100% of the time here. Anyway, I ended up checking it back. Man, I know I shouldn't be so scared of any ace on the board, but man, last time I checked, aces are better than queens. So anyways, I think it was a good check. We go on and see a free river, which is a 7. Our opponent checks it again, and this check for sure means weakness, right? I mean, if he did have something on the flop, we would hear from him on the turn, and if he indeed hit the turn, we would hear from him on the river. I know he doesn't have it, and I need to go for some value here. I go on and I put in a bet of 95 bucks. Our opponent is thinking about it. He eventually lets it go, and we go on and we take this pot. Hell freaking yeah. For this next hand, I look down at pocket 10s and the under the gun position. I go on and I make it 20 bucks. Our opponent in the +1 calls. We get one opponent in late position to call. We get the small blind to call. And we go 4 ways to see a flop. The flop is 3-3-9. Our small blind opponent checks, I check, the +1 checks, and our opponent in late position, he goes on and fires off a bet of 35 bucks. Our opponent in the small blind calls, I go on and I call. Our opponent in the +1 calls, and we go 4 ways to see a turn. The turn is a 5. It's a 5 of hearts to be exact. Now a flush got there, and I check as well as the small blind as well as the +1. And our opponent in the late position, he sizes up. He puts out a bet of 80 bucks, which our opponent on the small blind folds. Of course, I have to fold. I can't continue. Our +1 opponent, he also folds, and our opponent takes it down without even freaking showing. Now, one thing about recording my hands for the vlog is I get to review them later, and I could see how I could have played that hand different, or many hands different for that matter. And in this situation, maybe doing a continuation bet would have been the right thing. If not, then maybe a check raise. I think a check raise would have been better here if I would have just not only called the $35 that our late opponent did. If I would have raised it to like 80, then yeah, maybe that would have been a better thing. But I am out of position. If I do get called, I'm going to be stuck on the turn. I'm going to be stuck on the river, and I'm just going to not like the whole situation. So I ended up losing with pocket tens. It happens, and on to the next one. For this next hand, I look down at pocket jiggities. Hell yeah, Brad Owen, give me a shout out so I can get more subscribers. Anyways, our cookie jar opponent has bumped it up to 15 bucks, and I'm not going to slow play this. I go on and put in a raise. It's $37 now, which everybody decides to fold. Our cookie jar opponent, he puts the remainder 22 bucks in there, and we go heads up to see a flop. The flop is 5-7 ace. There's a stupid ace on the board, and our cookie jar opponent, he decides to lead for 25 bucks. Again, same exact line, same exact person, and same exact hand in the cookie jar. I have a dead read on this guy. He's done this way too many times. And even though there's an ace out there, I did say I wasn't going to be scared of an ace. And I repop him. I make it 60 bucks. He thinks about it for just a little bit before he goes on and he lays it down. And we take this pot. Hell freaking yeah. For the last hand of the session, I look at pocket nines on the big blind. There's been a few limpers around, and I go on and I make it 15 bucks. We get 3 callers, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The flop is deuce, deuce, 5. I go on and put in a continuation bet of 25 bucks, which 2 players down the road go on and fold. But our cookie jar opponent on the button, he goes on and he makes the call, and we go heads up to see a turn. The turn is an ace. I know I said I wasn't going to be scared of aces, and it's hard not to be scared of aces, to be honest with you, but sticking to my word, I go on and I put out a bet of 25 bucks. I know it's a small bet, but if I go on and get repopped, I could easily just fold. Anyways, that didn't happen. My opponent calls, and we go heads up to see a river. The river's a 7. I don't want to go on and check this and have my opponent take a huge stab at it on the river, and if he's bluffing, he's going to definitely bluff me out on it. So I go on and I put out a blocker bet. Another blocker bet of 25 bucks. It's a small ass bet compared to what the pot size is like. And once again, if we get repopped, it's an easy fold. Anyways, that didn't happen. My opponent goes on and calls, and he turns over ace king. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, ace king on the button. He limped in with ace king on the button. Whatever. You know what? It's time to go home anyway. The sun is burning me alive. So yeah, it's time to go. All right, fishers, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I went ahead and I cashed out a little bit under 500 bucks, which means a little bit under 300 bucks was profit. It was a good day. I think I would have made more money if I hadn't played those pocket nines and those pocket tens like a freaking idiot. But it is what it is. I still ended up winning. And on my last video, I went ahead and I showed you this hand right here. And of course, my opponent is those kinds of opponent that just don't show their hands either, but I did convince him to show the camera. He shows the camera, and you guys let me know in the comment section below, letting me know what you think he had. Anyway, I ended up folding a straight on the turn, and my opponent did show the camera. He showed queen jack with the queen being a heart, so he had a bigger straight than I did with the redraw to a flush, so it was a good fold on my end. Nobody got that right in the comment section. Anyway, stick around for the raffle that's coming up next. Hopefully you win something, and I'll see you guys later. All right, fishes, thank you all who did commentate on my last video. Now, the way you're going to be able to win is this joker with the word fish on it. It's going to go put in the deck, and if it comes out under your name, then you're a winner. Chip Stack, you're our very first winner. Congratulations. All right, we're going to go on and shuffle these mofos again, give them a few cuts, and good luck to all. All right, Mr. Milo Freak 956, congratulations, you are winner number 2. Our last winner is Mr. Michael Skurzinski. Congratulations to all the winners. I'm going to go on and leave my email address so you guys can send me an email, and we'll figure out how to send you guys a fish poker mask. Congratulations. Now, on my last video, Mr. Barry Smith was a winner of one of our fish poker masks, and he watches our channel all the way from Japan. Hell freaking yeah. Our buddy, Mr. Smith, he's in the Marine Corps, so make sure you guys thank him for his services on the comment section below. And if you're in the Marine Corps or any kind of service, you go on and send me a message, and the first person who does that is going to get Barry's fish poker mask. Hell freaking yeah. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.